Welcome to Peninsula Backstage, the show that looks inside local live theater and talks about upcoming productions that you can go see. I'm Nina Perry, and I'm your host. The Santa Clara Players are presenting the comedy 7-10 Split from February 24th through March 18th at the Hall Pavilion at the Triton Museum in Santa Clara. Today on Peninsula Backstage, we'll start by talking with George Doltz, the producer of 7-10 Split, Thomas Times, the director, and Sarah Doltz, the stage manager. And later we'll meet a few of the actors involved with the production as well. So Thomas, Sarah, and George, welcome to Peninsula Backstage.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Great. Well, before we start talking about the play, George, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Santa Clara Players?
We are a small community theater group that's been around since, what, 1962, though some people have still not heard of us. But what, you new in town? No, we've done something. And generally we do 3 shows a year. It's all volunteer. What can I say? Mostly we do comedies. And we have a fairly good subscriber base that keeps us going. We're basically funded by our ticket sales, so which I didn't say. And we just have a lot of fun.
Okay.
And the food's good.
Perfect. Yeah. So how would you put yourself, what theater groups are you similar to or different from in terms of the whole community theater landscape here on the Peninsula?
I like to think we're different. We're small, we're hard to find, but we do, and actually several people have commented on this again the last couple of shows, we do unique little plays that nobody else has ever heard of. You know, a lot of them are new plays. Like this is a new play that was written about 4 years ago, and we just find actually they're coming to us now and sending me scripts and yeah, you did this play for my friend. Could you do my play? Yeah. And if it works, this one I really liked when I first read it. I go, yeah, we'll do these. So that's the kind of stuff we do. Just the last couple of years we've been trying to do a little more mainstream plays too to see where we can focus our audience, but. By and large, we do obscure little plays that are a lot of fun.
Okay. And you were contacted about this play?
I was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a play called Spreading It Around about, what, 4 years ago? From a Canadian playwright. And the playwright for this play is a friend of his. Okay. Well, I think it's a playwright group up in Canada. So after we did that one, then he sent me, I have a play. So, and I liked it. It took a couple of years to convince the board we should do this one, but we're doing it, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, great. Well, Thomas, tell us a little bit about the play.
Well, this play is really funny. It's about this guy named Earl and his wife, and it's basically they've hit a really rough time in their life. Earl at one point was a big bowler, as big as bowling can be, but things had got rough. They had a child, and then things kind of just fell apart. And now Earl and Brenda are trying to make it back. And so this play is basically about them trying to figure out how to make it back to where they once were. And basically comedy ensues through that. And it's one of those things where that they fall into a trap that a lot of people have fallen into and can fall into. And it's really quite hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sarah, what's your favorite thing about this play?
Oh, my favorite thing about this play. Well, it's just really funny. Yeah. It's great. Rehearsals are fun when you're just cracking up in the middle of rehearsals. It makes it more enjoyable to watch it 25 times or however many times we end up seeing it. Yeah.
Okay. So, comedy has a reputation among show business folk as being hard. Comedy is hard. What is hard about comedy?
Well, the funny thing about comedy is that to the characters, it's not funny. The things that are happening to them aren't funny. But to us watching, it's hilarious. So as an actor, you can't play it like this is supposed to be funny because it's not funny to you. That's the thing is you can't play comedy like it's supposed to be funny. You have to play it real and honest. That's where the comedy happens. So being honest with that, that's the hardest thing about comedy.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Great. Good. 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 So, what sorts of things do you do in preparation for directing a play?
Well, definitely have to read it.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you gotta do is read the play. But after that, what I really started doing, I started diving deep into the characters, trying to figure out what's their motivation, what do they want, and then I started creating images for myself. What do these characters represent to me, and then finding what the author was trying to say, or not author, playwright, what he was trying to say with the play, and try to make that resonate with me, so I could help it resonate to my actors, so they can help it resonate to the audience. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you read other works by the same playwright in preparation?
I looked at this is one of his only plays that I've read full out, but I've looked at some of his other stuff, and he kind of has a very similar way of writing. So that was really nice to see that like his plays all kind of look the same and sound the same, which is really nice to see.
Okay.
Through a playwright, yeah.
Okay. Great. Now, Sarah, you're the stage manager.
Yes.
So tell us about the role of a stage manager, both during rehearsals and during performances.
So during rehearsals, I mostly just keep track of everything. Keep track of the blocking, keep track of the props, we're gonna need a sound cue and all that kind of stuff. And then during performances, it's more keeping track of the actors, making sure everyone's ready to go and making sure the audience is all there.
It's like herding cats.
It is like herding cats. And I do all the lights and sounds for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
She wears lots of hats.
All right.
I do. Many, many hats.
Yes. And you've worn other hats with the Santa Clara Players too. You've been a director.
I have been a director.
Okay. So
yes.
how has that experience informed your role as a stage manager?
I don't know. I think maybe it's almost the other way around. Like I think being a stage manager makes it easier to be a director.
Okay.
Because it's like being a director is a lot easier when you have kind of an actor's perspective on things. If you've been on stage, it helps. If you've been backstage, it helps. Just to know, there's a lot of just weird things that you don't think of unless you've kind of done all the other bits. But yeah, so I think definitely the stage managing helped when I was directing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what got you interested in the stage managing aspect of production?
Well, I sort of just got thrown into it at the Santa Clara Players. I graduated with a degree in theater and then took a lot of time off, and then we needed a stage manager. And I do my day job, I'm in operations, so it's all kind of the same thing. I sort of grease the wheels of whatever I'm involved with. So it was kind of a perfect fit. I just sort of slid on in, and it was a lot easier than I anticipated, but it's a lot of fun.
She's wonderful at it.
I try.
So George, tell us about what a producer does.
That's a good question. Well, because with the players, I'm more than just a producer, but the producer pretty much puts it all together and kind of oversees everything, the financing and the staffing and finding what plays we're going to do, getting the rights to the plays, and pretty much all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
There must be some other stuff I do too.
Yeah.
But then, well, see, in addition to that, then I build the sets, but that's not actually producer.
And do the lights.
But I do all the programming, the lights, and so kind of put it all together.
All right. Have you been with the Santa Clara Players since the beginning in 1962?
No, actually I haven't. I've been there since what, 2000, I think. So about 15, 16 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 17 years.
Long time.
A while, yeah.
It flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, but we have fun.
Okay.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small, tight-knit group, which is really nice.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So tell us about the performance space. It's the Hall Pavilion at the Triton Museum in Santa Clara.
It's a group of buildings that PG&E built in the 50s at what was once Town and Country Village. There were 5 of them originally. They're octagonal buildings, so they're odd shape. They're what, about 1,300 and some odd square feet. One of them is our theater, one of them is our lobby. The other 2 belong to the Triton Museum. They use them for classrooms. So it's not a big space. It's probably
Pretty small.
it's smaller than here.
How many people can it seat?
We have 71 seats.
Okay.
But that's the
Yeah.
awesome thing about it. It's like whenever you do a show, it's literally like the audience is with
They're
you. So it's
right
such an
there.
They
intimate
are, yeah.
experience, especially with a show like this where there's a lot of real kind of heartfelt moments. there's not a distance between the actors and the audience. The audience is literally in your living room with you. They're in your kitchen with you,
And
which is really awesome to feel as an actor and as a director.
And they will comment during
Yeah.
the show too.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
Yes. They'll call out the answers to mysteries, and you're like, no, keep that to yourself.
So it's very, very close. Because the stage is like right here to the front row. There's like
Yeah.
3 feet between the stage and the front row of seats.
Okay.
Which you never get, which is really hard to find in this area.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's always this huge amphitheaters, which are awesome for bigger shows, but for the small shows that we like to do, it's
Yeah.
awesome to have the audience right there with you.
And the audience really likes it, I
Yeah.
think.
They do,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you mentioned that it feels like the audience is in the living room with the actors. So let's talk about the set for this play.
The set for this play, it's a very simple set. It's Earl and Brenda live in a ratty old mobile home.
Okay, and I think we have in the control room we have a graphic of
do,
the set
we
that
do.
we're going to put on screen
Okay.
for a few minutes.
That
Yeah,
would be
it's
good.
a really kind of basic set. Like they've got their basic necessities, basically what they can compile from stealing and
Yeah.
rummaging and
Scavenging.
scavenging and making their best out of nothing, which is Earl and Brenda at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
But they do have a TV.
They do have a TV
Nice
Okay.
big one that you can put doilies on top of.
and the fridge and the fridge.
And they have a fridge, which is full of beer as we speak.
Very good,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good. All right, well, in a minute, we're going to see a scene from 710 Split performed by some of the actors on our own version of the set,
Yep.
which won't be as famous as yours. But
might be.
I'm going to thank George Dultz and Sarah Dultz and Thomas Times for being with us on Peninsula Backstage today to talk about 710 Split. But before I let you go, let's have Thomas set the scene for us. What do we need to know about the scene we're going to see?
So basically, you've got two characters. You've got Earl and Laurie, who are in-laws, and basically they have a really contentious relationship. Some stuff has happened in the past, and they have not let it go. So they've got a visitor here who's going to try to help them work through their issues, and so they can try to build a better relationship for their family.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Let's watch.
All right.
Listen to me. I don't want the job. It's straight days. I'd never get a chance to sleep.
You don't even want it.
No.
You expect me to believe that?
Guess not. Why would I expect anything to sink through that heck of yours, you ingrate?
Ingrate? What about the time
Okay, that's enough. May I offer some input here? Name calling, recriminations, and bringing up past hurts. Those are counterproductive to the process. Now, let's resolve this dispute like mature adults.
Well, if this idiot thinks that I'm going
Okay,
to...
shut up. I know what I'm doing. Now, Earl, I think if you listen to Laurie attentively and respectfully without judging and value what she's bringing to the discussion, you may find a mutual satisfying outcome is still plausible. Laurie, what would you like to say to Earl?
Nothing I want to hear.
Remember, attentively and respectfully. Okay? Where did we leave off?
You were telling Knucklehead here to listen attentively and respectfully?
That's right. Yep, thank you. Earl, respectfully and attentively. Go on, Laurie.
Earl, I know the night supervisor's position should have been yours, so I've gone ahead and recommended you for the senior supervisor's job.
Good. Now, Earl, as we progress, I want you to dialogue with Laurie. Validate her feelings. Listen actively to what she is saying, and begin, but preface your first statement with "What I'm hearing you say is."
Validate her feelings?
Yes.
Is that anything like validating parking?
No.
Do I have to touch her?
No. Just start with "What I'm hearing you say is."
Okay. What I'm hearing you say is...
Go on.
What I'm hearing you say is... You're a full of crap jackwagon and you're jerking me... Ow!
You see, that is the element that I think is missing in this currently accepted dispute resolution model.
You're good.
Thank you. Now, Earl, let's try that again. And this time, I want you to try and, phrase your response in a manner that will help you avoid the pain. Mirror her statement using non-accusatory language and phrasing.
I have no idea what you just said.
Share with Laurie that you understood what she said to you without blaming her or calling her names.
Do I have to?
I don't think you realize how conciliatory I'm being here. Usually by this point, I would be taking portfolio shots of my handiwork.
Okay, okay. Laurie, what I'm hearing you say is you.
Good, good, good. That's it.
What I'm hearing you say is, oh, this isn't going to work.
Oh, you're wasting your time on him. He's hopeless.
You see, for this to work, the two of you have to come together voluntarily. Okay, do it now or I'm going to knock your heads together.
I'm not going to mirror or validate anything for that pinhead. Ow! Okay, fine. I'll do it. Laurie,
Yes, Earl?
what I'm hearing you say is that you put in a good word for me at the Apple warehouse.
Excellent! Excellent. How does that make you feel?
Hungry.
Hungry.
All those apples.
I mean, does it make you feel valued, appreciated, hopeful?
I guess.
See, now we're getting somewhere.
Well, thank you. You just saw Dave Leon playing Earl, Sarah Kishler playing Laurie, and John Soto playing the Visitor. And that was a scene from 7:10 Split being performed by the Santa Clara Players. Sarah and Dave.
Hello.
And John.
Hi.
I almost called you Earl.
It's okay.
He's
It's
really
embodying
okay
the
with that.
character.
Welcome to Peninsula Backstage.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and for giving us a sneak peek into the play.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. It's a
This is
pleasure.
really cool. I gotta say.
Yeah, it is. It's very fun to be here.
Good, great.
Yeah.
So it was fun watching that scene. So tell us about your experience with it. What are the fun or challenging parts associated with that particular scene that you've been working on?
Well, I think the fun and the challenging part for me is the same thing. It's both fun and challenging. And it also, basically my entire relationship with Earl is like this. I love him. He's my brother-in-law, but he drives me crazy. So in this scene, I'm trying to get across, like, I'm telling him I've done something nice for him, but he's kind of an idiot. And that's really fun to play with.
Okay. Dave, how about you from the other side?
One of the challenging things about this scene for me is to make sure that Earl is obviously not the sharpest knife in the drawer. We know that, but he has to be played in such a way that he's not unlikable, or that he's not someone that the audience is not going to follow, because he carries a lot of what goes on in the show. So if you have a protagonist that you don't really like, you're not going to be invested in the play, even if it is a comedy. You have to believe in the characters and what it is they're going through. Right. So that's kind of throughout the entire show for me, as far as the most challenging part is to make Earl a lovable loser.
Okay. Okay. John, what about your character?
I just want to say I like you as Earl. The fun part, well, hitting him's pretty fun. You know, it's been a process. You just like, I always have to check, are you okay? Did I hurt you?
It's true, he does that all the time. Are you okay?
I just don't want to, because he's just really good at when I hit him. He's like, oh, there's a couple times like, okay, are you okay? But
Because you believed his reaction.
Yeah. But a challenging thing, kind of just like getting the lines down and not mixing them up, because there are certain words that just, you know, it triggers the next line, and if I forget something, it's just like, oh, where are we?
Right.
Which Earl are we at? Like, because I keep saying, Earl, do this, Earl, do that.
Yeah.
And that's just been a lot of fun, and just, I don't know, just being, these guys are really experienced. I just love like acting with you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Well,
Thank you.
we enjoy acting with you too. Thank you.
Great, great. So how did each of you get involved with this production? What drew you to these parts or this play or this theater company? Choose one. You don't have to answer them all.
All right. Well, I'm actually on the board of directors at the Santa Clara Players, and I've been on it since 2004. So
Okay.
I have a bit of a history. Not quite as long as George, but so I am aware of everything that goes on, and I'm actually also on the play selection committee.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and So I'm just aware of things that are going on, and I thought this would be fun to audition for. I like doing comedies. So here I am.
Here you are. Here you are. How about you, Dave?
I saw a couple of shows at Santa Clara Players over the years. My girlfriend has been in a couple of previous shows, and I actually got to direct the summer production of The Foursome just this past summer. So I became very familiar with the group, and when I learned what the next season was going to be, this happened to be in a slot where I didn't have anything booked just yet. So I thought it would be worth a try, and I've wanted to be on stage, you know, at this group for a while. So this is a good opportunity for me to make my debut, and I'm very excited about it.
Great, great. And John, this is also your first production with.
Yeah, this is like my this is my first outside of school production. Mostly I've acted at West Valley College in student films and just plays there. So it's been really interesting to be outside of school. Like last semester, different people were saying, you know, you got like, you know, it's good to do plays at school because like West Valley is just an awesome school to just do theater or any type of acting. But just people were saying, you know, try looking like outside of school to find different experience, you know, to grow. Because if you don't move on, I won't grow as both a person or an actor. So I took that in consideration, and then it's just a funny story. But long story short, I was working at Halloween Haunt at Great America over October, and I was just looking at different playhouses, and like right in the middle it said Santa Clara Playhouse. I was like, oh, well, I work there, and I just looked and I saw 7/10 split, and the audition was perfect for my schedule, and yeah,
Great.
that's how it happened.
Great, great. So Sarah, in the original script, Laurie is Larry.
Right.
So tell us about the decision to switch things up gender-wise.
Well, it was an extremely pleasant surprise to me because I thought I was auditioning for a play that had parts for 3 men and 1 woman. So I had no idea that this part was even available to me.
Okay.
But, you know, I was reading the script, and our one cast member who is not here, Lisa, she's playing Earl's wife, Brenda.
Okay.
I've actually worked with her before, and I really like working with her. And Thomas, I think he had a very brilliant idea, and he had us read together and said, well, what if Brenda has a sister instead of a brother? And we went with that, and it seemed to really work. And so George emailed the producer after that, or sorry, not the producer.
Playwright?
George is the producer. He emailed the writer. He emailed the playwright and asked for permission. And I didn't know what the playwright was going to say, so I wasn't getting my hopes up. But he said it was a great idea. And he actually, there are a few things in the play, I'm not going to give anything away, but he actually wrote new pages for us to accommodate Laurie instead of Larry. And I just think it's awesome, and it's a very freeing role for me. It's a kind of role that I haven't usually gotten a chance to play.
Okay.
And I think, you know, in a lot of plays, you have male characters, and then you have like the woman. And I like plays. I mean, obviously, women have as many unique personalities as men do, so I enjoy playing somebody different.
Great, great. Well, what a wonderful experience to have that connection with the playwright.
Yeah.
And have that customized for you for your specific production.
Yeah, that was really nice of the playwright to do
Yeah.
that
Seems
for
like
us.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but yeah, he sounds nice.
So how does your approach to a comedy differ from an approach you might have with a drama or a musical?
I don't know that the approach is all that different. I mean, as Thomas was saying, you know, comedy has to be played straight, otherwise it's not funny.
Right.
And I really do believe that. You have to have some sort of genuine, real quality to your characters. Because otherwise, like I said, the audience isn't going to be emotionally invested in that character, and they're not going to care about what happens during the course of the show. So as far as preparation, it may be different, you know, doing a play as opposed to doing a musical, because obviously there's that whole other element to add in.
Right.
And musicals are more technically complex in most cases. But as far as the preparation that the actor has to do, I don't think it's all that different. You still have to learn the lines, you still have to learn the blocking, you still have to talk about the character, you still have to relate with the other actors. So it's, in that way, it's not really that different, at least to me.
Okay, okay. Is it a similar experience with Sarah and John?
Well, have you ever heard the saying, drama is easy, but comedy is hard?
Yes.
I don't know. It's weird. Originally, I was like, you know, I thought it was gonna be like the opposite with me, like. But as what I've done in school and just here, drama's kind of easy. You get yourself sad, but just to be like funny, you know, that's hard. But it really is rewarding when like you hear the audience laugh, or even like everyone out here just like laughing, you know. It's just really rewarding to hear that.
Okay, very good, very good. So it's a small cast, and so you get a lot of one-on-one time with each other and with the director and the stage manager. So talk about that and how it has differed from any other productions you've been involved with.
Oh, we do a lot of table work. That was what we did for a couple of rehearsals during our first week. I think it was the first 3 rehearsals. It was all just sitting around the table, reading through the script, talking about the characters and their relationships with each other. It's the kind of thing that you don't normally get to do with a larger cast. If you have a large cast of like 15, 20 people, yeah, you may do a table read, but you don't really have time to really pick things apart that soon in the process. Okay. And that sets us up, I think, for success later on during rehearsals because we're already prepped from doing the table work.
Okay, okay. Sarah, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay, all good.
I also just want to add that one of the times we did the table work was actually one of the stormy nights that we recently had.
Okay.
And the power was out.
Oh.
And I thought it was really fun because we all had to like use our cell phones to light up our scripts and talk about the scripts, and I just felt like we were huddled around like a campfire. And
It did kind of feel that way.
yeah, it made me
Rehearsal
feel
by flashlight. It was kind of cool.
Feel closer to everybody.
Great, great, good. And so all of you, all 4 actors are basically rehearsing together all the time? Or
Yeah.
do you ever split up? Okay.
We have to
Okay.
because the characters are so intertwined. There really isn't, we can't really have a rehearsal if one of us isn't there.
Right.
I mean, we could, but you know, Sarah would have to read lines from the house, and it's much easier for all of us to be there at the same time.
Okay, great, great. Well, we have about a minute left, so we're going to recap for our viewers that the Santa Clara Players are presenting 710 Split by Michael Wilmot, and it's going to run from February 24th through March 18th at the Hall Pavilion at the Trident Museum in Santa Clara. And Sarah, could you tell our audience where they could go online to get more information about the show?
Yes, Santa Clara's Players website is scplayers.org.
Okay, great. scplayers.org. Peninsula Backstage is online also. We have a URL on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/peninsula-backstage. Like our page if you want to get updates when new episodes become available for viewing online and on the air. Once again, I'd like to thank our guests from the Santa Clara Players. We have Sarah Kishler, who's playing Laurie, and Dave Leon, who's playing Earl, John Soto, who's playing the Visitor. And also we have director Thomas Tynes and producer George Doltz and stage manager Sarah Doltz. I'd also like to thank our viewers. Thank you for watching this episode of Peninsula Backstage, and remember to go out and support local live theater.